Hey, yo, check it.
Welcome back, hero.
My word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast.
Hey yo, welcome.
Wagwan.
Hey man, been playing a lot of video games lately.
Indeed.
One in particular.
Yeah.
Man. This is episode 45. We are 5 episodes away from 50, bro.
Right.
Episode Michael Jordan.
Boom. Let's see. You got episode Sekou Doumbouya, current Detroit Piston.
Here we go. The Pistons.
Right. He's actually the only Piston that I can think of that wore maybe like, I don't know. No, he was number 30. Donovan Mitchell, number 45.
Oh,
Utah Jazz.
That's a good one.
I'm a big fan of Donovan Mitchell. I love Luke Kennard, but I'm not going to pretend like I wouldn't have liked us to draft Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Denzel Valentine randomly is number 45.
Is he really? What's my man's name? He played for Pittsburgh in college. Undersized, big.
Yeah, with no knees, no ACLs.
DeJuan
Blair. Yeah, DeJuan Blair.
He was number 45. I like DeJuan Blair. He's a good player, good rebounder.
He's like a proto Draymond Green a little bit.
Yeah, he's.
I wonder what do you think? I was gonna say I wonder what the difference is. Defensively, is Draymond just better defensively?
I think Draymond's just a better all-around player. DeJuan Blair was a kind of like a really good rebounder and he wasn't super athletic, but he had
not at all.
He had a quick second jump though. Like he's one of those guys that would miss his shot and then
put back.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. I'm not a big. I mean, I respect Draymond Green as a Michigan Saginaw product, but I've never been super impressed with him on the basketball court. Like this is an obvious criticism, but he's very clearly a product of his system. Like a lot of people were talking about before he signed that contract with Golden State. Like a lot of people, we tell him to come home, bring him back to Detroit. Like, bro, are y'all kidding me? No, this team is not good enough to do anything with his skill set.
Yeah, he has to be the way his game is. He's got to be on a team where he doesn't have to
be the main attraction.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got some. I mean, he's like Shane Battier, but maybe a little bit better, a little bit more versatile defender.
Shane Battier was really good defender, man.
Draymond will lock up 1 through 5. I don't think Shane Battier is gonna do that.
I wouldn't say lock up 1 through 5. I'm a Warriors fan, so I was a little frustrated with Draymond the last couple years. So
I mean, last year shouldn't count. Last year he was also fucking what's the name with the Duke, and I can only give him so much credit as a UNC stan.
Who?
Shane Battier.
Oh yeah, Shane. Yep.
He also went to Country Day, though. Fuck, Michigan connection.
He's from Michigan, man.
Damn it. All right, that does it for the sports section of the podcast.
Yeah, man. So, episode 45. Man, I think we're both into the same thing currently.
Yeah. There's nothing else. There's nothing else I've been into.
There's nothing else either.
Right.
Ghost of Tsushima, man. I've put mad hours into this game over the last few days. I love it
Yes.
even more. The story has gotten amazing, very sad. Actually had a real life tear in my eye at a certain part that I won't spoil for the people that haven't played it. But the game's amazing. I'm loving it even more than I was last time when we talked about it. How about you? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, yeah, like it It most certainly exceeded my expectations, and I already had high expectations. So that's saying a lot. My biggest thing, like, the story is great. The game is beautiful. Obviously, I had to like stop myself from taking pictures. I was spending too much time taking pictures and not enough time actually playing the game. And it's not like, so the reason why that's the case is when I take pictures, it's not like, all right, snap, a couple sliders and keep it going. Like, I will obsess over one picture for like 2 hours, bro.
Let me tell you this, and I'm not making this up. I have legitimately lost boss fights on purpose so I could take sweet pictures during the fight.
Yep.
Like, I will fight a boss. I will purposely try to get awesome pictures during the fight in photo mode. You know what I mean? And I will, like, if I don't get the desired level of awesomeness, I'll just die and do it again.
Bro, there's so let me take this to my next point. I have enjoyed, probably more than anything else, the combat in this game. So much so that, like, there have been times where I've like won fights and got down to the last pixel of the boss's health and stopped and just reset anyways, just like restarted from the last checkpoint just to do it again. Or also, like, if I didn't do it sweet enough, like if I didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I didn't, because, bro, this goes back to me playing like Metal Gear Solid and like Assassin's Creed, where like I will flat out restart the board if I get seen, or if I get, like, if I don't do it the way like Snake fucking be. Right, yeah. Then if I'm a samurai, if I'm a fucking like master swordsman, if I don't like look sweet as hell while I'm fighting and win, then I'll fucking do the shit all over again and have to win by looking like how Jin Sakai would look.
I feel that 100%, bro. I do the same thing. Like, if I'm doing a stealth mission and I get caught, but it doesn't
reset you.
I still succeed. I'm like, nope. I gotta do it. I gotta do it the way, I gotta do it the real way. I gotta do it the way that my man Jin Sakai would do it, man. So
yeah,
having to go back.
Also, super duper duper minor spoiler. So just everybody pay attention. You heard it now. I discovered, and I shared it with Noveliss, the fucking dopest combination of costumes that literally equals it. Literally, the end result is literally Oroku Saki. He ends up looking just like the Shredder. That shit is so fucking fire.
And what did you call him?
Oroku Sakai.
Oroku Sakai.
Right.
My man literally looks exactly like Master Shredder.
That shit's fire.
You got to take the ghost armor. You got to go ahead and rock that. Then you got to upgrade. You got to upgrade it to like the second and third one. Then you got to take that Sakai family armor. Then you got to upgrade that so you can get the Master Shredder helmet. And it looks amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I love this game. I'll talk about it some more later. Foreshadowing. I'll talk about it later, man. But love it, man. Been playing it a lot. I don't know if I've ever spent this much time consecutively, you know what I mean, playing a game before. So I've definitely put mad hours into this already, and it's one of those games. A sign of a sweet game is. It's almost like watching a show that you really like. You don't want it to end. You know what I mean? You're almost like you want to do the side quests because you don't want the actual game to come to an end. You know what I mean?
100%. That's what I'm on. I'm meticulous. I'm going through the map in a really meticulous fashion where I'm like not missing anything. I'm going through it really slowly. So
if there's a question mark, I'm doing I'm not leaving any question mark areas on the map at all.
Anybody who's played The Witcher knows exactly what I mean. That part, The Witcher is a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, except like the world is way bigger. The world in The Witcher is almost too big. It's like, bro, what the like? There's like 4 different like continents you can go to, and they're all just as big as the map in Ghost. And it's like, all right, dog, like I'm not about to fucking do all this shit, man. But it's dope though. I mean, that game is awesome too. We'll talk more about that later. So
yeah, man. So both into that. Look, man, if you haven't played this game, guys, if you see me posting 10 million pictures of it on Twitter, like don't ask me if it's worth the buy. Of course it's worth the buy. Go get it, man. It's amazing. Get it so you can play it. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, staying on the video game thing, I know Xbox did their little showing, and I do want to say this. I
did they?
But I know a lot of people were like disappointed. I think it was more about them selling their little Game Pass thing than it was about them
showing games. Yeah,
showing the new one. You know what I mean? So I think it was just a big disappointment because people were expecting something else other than what they did. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that I talked to Chris about it. You know, Chris is a technology master.
Yeah.
And like he wishes they wouldn't have showed the Halo gameplay stuff, because it's like you don't
look mad incomplete.
It looked super incomplete, and then it's like you don't have to show it anyway. It's Halo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can literally. Halo has the same power as Super Mario and Sonic. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it'll sell itself. You don't have to show any gameplay, let alone incomplete, gameplay. So
yeah, I'm gonna just flat out say it, bro. That Halo game looked trash. Like it flat out looked bad.
It did.
Sorry.
And I just think they were desperate, so they showed it, and they shouldn't have. All you got to do is put the title across the screen, and that's it. And people will, you know what I mean? People will get excited, and they'll buy it, man. You don't have to show Halo gameplay, and you don't. Like I said, when you think of Sega, you think of Sonic. When you think of Nintendo, you think of Mario. When you think of Xbox, you think of Halo. It has that same power.
Yep.
So,
no doubt.
I don't know what the heck they were thinking on that, man. But also, man, so obviously because of COVID, there's no cons or anything.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego Comic-Con has been doing like a stay-at-home version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been following it. They've, if I'm being a little critical, they have kind of not done a very good job of making all the things that are happening super accessible, because I've been looking and I've only found a couple of things. But here's what we're going to do, just keeping it on the Marvel vibe. They did announce a lot of Marvel stuff. A lot of things got new dates and everything. So what I'm going to do is all the Marvel things that are upcoming Phase 4 stuff, I'm going to read the title, and you're just going to give me your interest level, right?
Okay.
Give me a yay or a
God damn it.
All right, so this one does not have a date, which I'm very surprised, because it was like supposed to be the first one that's going to come out. But the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
Yes, I'm excited about that. I'm excited.
I'm here for that one too. I'm very excited about that one. We talked before, like, I really think that, and I hope they kind of get into this on this show, because Winter Soldier is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and he has a comic book run where him and Black Widow get together, and they go around and they basically assassinate all the other Winter Soldiers that Hydra put out into the world. Now they kind of like ruined that a little bit in Civil War, because Zemo supposedly went and shot them all. But if they did something like that, like that's show worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be really dope. All right, the next one. the Black Widow movie, October. It was supposed to come out in October. I think they changed it to November now. November.
Yeah, it was supposed to have come out already.
Well, it's supposed
actually,
to supposed to came out in the summer, and then they changed it to October. But I think they changed it again to November 6th.
So my interest level on this is interested, but I'm not super over the moon about it because one, I know this is a hot take. I'm not a huge fan of the MCU's depiction of Black Widow. I think she's underpowered like a motherfucker in the MCU. I mean, she's like I just get so fucking tired of Scarlett Johansson and her goddamn hurricanranas, bro. Like like give her some other type of I've said this so many times on this podcast. I hate when they like make it so that the only way women can look fierce is if they're doing lucha libre. Like, let me crawl up on this big man's back because I'm small and delicate, and that's the only way I can hurt him. And, like, squeeze him with my thighs. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I can't stand that. Like, give me Black Widow will straight up like box you and fucking kickbox you to death, Muay Thai you to death. That's what I want to see. I want to see a hard hitting, super spy ass chick, and not. But anyways, I am interested in the movie because Taskmaster is one of my favorite villains. And I don't know if we talked. You and I talked offline about my theory about who or what Taskmaster is going to be. So maybe we'll just leave it at that, and we'll talk about it later. So I am interested in that. I'm interested to see how that story unfolds.
Word. I'm interested too. I'm interested because one, I love Taskmaster, and two, I mean, you know, Black Widow she's a grounded in reality character, which means her fight scenes, you know, even though she is always doing lucha libre, lucha libre, WCW cruiserweight offense.
Black Widow Mysterio.
I'm waiting for her to hit a suicide dive on somebody.
All right.
But her fight scenes are always really good because they're grounded in reality. You know, she doesn't have any power, so they do always do a good job with her fights. So I'm excited to see that movie. I know it'll have some dope fights in it. Next, we got WandaVision, December of this year.
So I'm interested in this for a different reason. My guess is that this is probably not super high on your list, but the reason why I'm interested in it is because they've got an opportunity to do something really creative, like on some like interesting sci-fi storytelling with like the alternate realities and using Wanda, like really getting, because they did not define her power set at all in MCU. Like it's just, nigga, she shoots red. I mean, they literally in Avengers, they literally said he's fast and she's weird. That was the way that they described her power set, is that she's weird. Like, no, like her actual power is that she is a reality warper, which is, I mean, that makes her very, very powerful. And I would like to see them really dig into her power set, and I think that can be an interesting way to tell some stories. So I mean, it's not at the top of my list, but I'm interested just to kind of see creatively what they're going to do with it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to probably shock you. I am interested in one. Are there air combos in WandaVision?
I don't think so, dog. I don't think it's going to be a lot of fighting. So I'm curious. Why do you say?
I'm interested in WandaVision because the alternate realities, man. I think this is a good way. I think this is a good way for them to possibly get into some, you know what I mean? Some there's a lot of things they can do with that, with the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some Secret Wars Easter egg.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. I'm calling it right now. Secret Wars is the next big thing.
Yeah,
after Infinity War.
I'm with you on that, and I just think that WandaVision is a good way to get these things started. You know, those like multiverses and those things can be kind of difficult to make sense, and this is the way that they do it. I think that I am excited to see WandaVision. Next we have the Eternals, February 2nd, 2021. How you feel?
Super excited. So far, that might be the thing I'm most excited about.
Oh wow. Okay.
Versus so far, I mean, we'll see what else you're about to say, but so far, I think it is because one, the cast that they have for that shit is incredible,
Very
super
good.
dope cast, and too many Eternals, dog. Like one of my Marvel wheelhouses is like the super sweaty Jack Kirby '60s like Silver Surfer weird alien shit, bro. And so like you talk about the Eternals. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it, man. That's what it is. It's
You talk about the Eternals, man. Because honestly, dog, like I think this movie can really be where they introduce the X-Men or the mutant gene, right? Like because if you look at like the I mean, if you really want to get actually goddamn sweaty on y'all niggas, bro, like you got the I mean, I'm after I talked all this shit, I'm probably gonna get this wrong. It's some minor detail wrong, but like the high evolutionary who kind of created the mutant gene, like it was an offshoot of the Eternals and the Externals and the Deviants and the mutant gene. Like all of it is all kind of related. And technically speaking, I think let me look this up. I'm pretty sure that Thanos is an Eternal, which means technically speaking, Thanos technically is human, which is a super sweaty take. But
that would be wild. I think
he's a deviant Eternal hybrid. I think. Sorry, keep talking. You were saying?
I think he is. I think his whole. I think all of his people are the Titans.
Yeah.
I think they're all deviant Eternal hybrids. I think. One, I am very excited for this movie. Got some cool, powerful characters there with like Icarus and all those guys. I also think that I think Thanos could be in this movie too.
100%.
I think Thanos could also be in this movie in some capacity. So I'm excited for Eternals, man.
Yes.
Next.
Hold on, let me do a correction before they jump all over us. I'm pretty sure the High Evolutionary was involved somewhere, but the Celestials are who like started tampering with the normal development of humanity to create the Eternals and then the Deviants, and then the mutants was a result of the mutant gene was a result of that tampering from like generations, eons ago. So here's an opportunity to really kind of set the stage for the X-Men coming into the MCU. That's really the reason why I'm most excited about it.
Yeah, and there goes again, like the same reason that I'm excited for WandaVision is because of the possibilities of something else coming into it, and that's how I feel about Eternals. You know what I mean? It's it's a way to bring some bigger things in. So I'm sorry for that. Next, spring of 2021, we got the Loki TV show that's going to be on Disney Plus. How you feel about that?
I know this is going to be a fan favorite. Everybody loves Thomas Hiddleston and his the portrayal of Loki. I'm excited about it because I think he does a great job. It doesn't like I'm not like dying for it necessarily, but when it comes out, I'm sure it's gonna be dope. So I'm gonna check it out.
Word. I'm gonna give that one a. I don't know. You know, Loki's was a good character in the movies. Just not a big Loki fan. Never really been a big Loki fan.
That's not a hot take as far as I'm concerned.
Next summer, May 7th, one day after my son's birthday, May 7th, 2021, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, man.
Obviously, all the way excited about that shit. I mean, come on. I mean, we've talked about that already. Like, that's going to be a straight up, like, martial arts, 70s style martial arts flick. With the greatest hand-to-hand fighter in the history of maybe all of comics, but certainly the Marvel Universe. I mean, crazy excited about that.
I am super excited about that. That's the one I'm the most excited for. I cannot wait for this movie. Man, there's so much that could be in this movie. I obviously love Shang-Chi, but also like Fu Manchu, right? These cool characters, the Mandarin, a real Mandarin,
the real Mandarin,
actual Mandarin, one of my favorite comic, Marvel villains. He's amazing. I hope that Fing Fang Foom is in this movie.
Bruh, if Fing Fang Foom ain't in this movie, I'm gonna flat out be mad. Fing Fang Foom, one of the great weird characters in all of Fing Fang Foom and like Suma Gorath are some of the weirdest fucking
Suma.
right.
The eyeball squid
bro.
thing.
Also, real quick side note, I think Suma Gorath in Marvel vs. Capcom is first of all dope, but also like crazy underpowered. In the comic book, nigga, Suma Gorath is like a world-ending, like super intergalactic, like deep, like you got to get the whole squad to fend off Suma Gorath. Like he is literally Cthulhu, like here to end your existence type level power.
Exactly. Shout out to LAZ from our group. Clear Force plays. He's a Shuma.
He's pretty good too.
Yeah, he plays the Shuma on there. Next summer, 2021, they have What If coming. I think it's a series. I think it's dope. The What If comic books are always
fire. Yeah,
they're super random. What if Deadpool got bit by the same spider that bit Spider-Man? It's just
didn't Spider Gwen start out of a What If? Yeah,
Spider-Gwen, very cool, man. So I like the What If stuff. So I think it would be really dope. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. So I am excited for that.
Boom.
Next, they got the Hawkeye series, fall of 2021. My understanding is that it's going to be kind of based off of the one. I can't think of the guy who wrote it right now. It's kind of bothers me, but the recent Matt Fraction, I think is his name.
That's what I was about to say. Matt Fraction.
The recent Hawkeye run was super good, and I think this is going to be kind of based off of that. So I am excited for that one.
Me too. I love Hawkeye. I'm just kind of getting a little bit tired of the guy who plays Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not going to get another guy, but I wouldn't be opposed to them getting someone else.
Yeah.
Next, December 17th, 2021. They pushed this back. That's whack. They pushed it back again. But Spider-Man 3. How you feel about that?
Well, I'm obviously excited about it, but it depends on what y'all gonna do with this shit, man. Like, I'm ready for a proper Spider-Man, Venom, and Carnage movie. I don't think that's what this is gonna be, though. I think that's gonna happen later. So I'm actually not. I mean, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but just because I'm not sure what they're gonna do with it, I'm excited about it. Obviously, it's Spider-Man, but. Well, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not dying over it just yet. I'm gonna wait and see.
No word, man. I'm excited for it. I love Spider-Man. I am like how you're ready for that. I'm ready for a fighting Spider-Man. Like, come on with the like swinging around, and I get it. I know it's young Peter, but like Spider-Man can fight. He is a very good fighter. Okay, I want to see some good Spider-Man fight scenes, man, where he's just webbing around and kicking somebody one time and then, you know what I'm saying, pulling down some boxes from a shelf and with his webs and doing, like, he can fight. Like, Spider-Man's a really good fighter. I want to see Spider-Man have some good fights. That's what I want to see. We talked about it before a little while back. It was a thing on the internet where people were talking about who played Spider-Man the best, and I had kind of said, and my personal opinion is, I think that Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker, but I think Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man. I thought
he was great in the first Amazing Spider-Man. In the second one, it was all right, but so Tom Holland was trying to do it, but his version of Spider-Man was so young and so inexperienced that he wasn't doing the wisecracking. Like, Spider-Man is basically PG-13 version of Deadpool. Like, he nonstop talk shit the entire time he's fighting. Like,
Right.
and nobody has done like Tobey Maguire. Fucking like I know everybody's stuck in nostalgia. He was the worst Spider-Man by far. Not even close.
I hate those movies are whack too. I don't care what anybody says. I don't understand why people love them so much.
I'm not it. They're not my favorite.
So yeah, man. And second to last, we got February 11th, 2022. It's a long way away. Thor: Love and Thunder. How you feel about that?
Good. I think this is where we're gonna have Jane Foster Thor. It sounds like. I didn't read the Jane Foster Thor comic. I heard that it's very, very good. I also know that this is gonna make the fanboys really upset because they still hate women.
Because y'all are sexist little
right.
boys.
Fucking ashy ass, god damn it.
Y'all, God, don't even. All right, go ahead, man.
So yeah, I'm excited about it. I haven't.
Captain Marvel ruined Infinity.
What are you talking about?
Ruined the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Endgame sucked. She didn't even do anything.
Right. So wait a minute. Y'all hated on her at first, but now y'all wanted her to do more in Infinity War. Anyways, so yeah, I haven't loved the Thor movies and up really until the third one. The third one was fantastic with Taika Waititi directing. So assuming that he's going to do this one as well, like I expect this to be very good. So I'm excited about it. I can't hear you.
Oh, I was.
Oh no, you're back. You're back. You're back.
All right, cool. But I mean, I thought Thor 1 was horrible.
It was trash.
I thought Thor 2 was horrible.
Thor 2 might be the worst movie in the MCU
ever.
Yeah, Thor 2 and Iron Man 3. I know a lot of people be trying to ride for that shit. That shit was trash.
Iron Man 2 and 3 were trash to me. I hate Thor 1. I hate Thor 2. I hate Iron Man 2, and I hate Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2 was fine. I'll tolerate that, but Iron Man 3 was fucking garbage.
Yeah. Thor 1 and 2 horrible. Thor Ragnarok fantastic. I hope they stick with that.
Yes.
That movie was dope.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
I know this is petty, but like I hated that they cut Thor's hair, man. I'm not a fan of short hair Thor.
They needed to make sure that Chris Hemsworth was super handsome, so they gave him the Hollywood cut.
Thor has long hair, which I'm doing. Also, I'm not like super against him wearing helmet either. Wearing this actual comic book get up, that would be cool. So yeah, I'm moderately excited for this. Nothing crazy. And last but not least, March 25th, 2022, we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Let's go. I'm
super excited.
On 10 for that. And
I also think that Wanda is going to be heavily involved in that. And I also think that if there was a time to officially introduce the Phase 5, this is Phase 4 we're about to be in right now. So that's probably going to be Phase 5, and at that point they have to be gearing up to like officially introduce the Fox property. So like X-Men, Fantastic Four, all of those have to be geared up by 5. And so if we're talking about multiverse of madness, I mean, what better way to make this happen than having a multiverse or a universe where the X-Men or mutants have always existed, and then at some point there's some sort of event.
You don't gotta do no crazy origin.
Yeah, you ain't gotta do nothing crazy. You don't have to retcon anything. Like, hey, here's a reality where they already existed due to whatever they like went over in the Eternal movie, where they like instigate the original series of events that ended up with the mutants, and then through whatever storytelling mechanism, these universes are combined. And not like I don't even think they should be combined like, oh, suddenly we got to cope with each other, like combined in a way where like the knowledge of each other's existence already was there. So like you combine these universes with where everyone in the old universe now understands that X-Men or mutants have always been there, right? Like
Nick Fury already knew. Come on, man.
Right, of course.
Nick Fury was on game. Also, I mean, so just kind of looking at these titles real quick. I mean, I think you got to think that movies where big things are probably going to happen. I gotta say Spider-Man 3 and Thor: Love and Thunder, just because their sequel movies have already
Oh yeah.
they've already been in the storyline. You know what I'm saying? So those might be those films might be how like Captain America 3 is like basically an Avengers movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things like that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Got some
So
cool
one observation that I had that I was disappointed at first, but then when I thought about it more, I became excited, was that Black Panther was not included in that. Which,
oh my goodness, I did not even think about that.
so what that might mean though, because they'd already had, it might mean that they already have announced the date for Black Panther 2, and it might just continue, or it could mean that they're pushing it back to Phase 5, which is fine, because you know what that means. If they push it back to Phase 5 and they've successfully introduced the X-Men, you already know who's going to be making an appearance in Black Panther 2, and that's got to be the Queen Mother herself, Aurora Monroe, Storm. So that'll be dope.
You know what? I feel that, and also, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So this could be a good thing. Now that you say that.
They're not gonna not do Black Panther 2. Like, that shit made them so much fucking money. There's no way they're not gonna do a sequel.
That could be the case, and I mean we could also get like Namor. Man, Doom could be in it. There's so much stuff they could do.
My God, let's go.
I'm here for the pushback. Could be dope. All right, man. Moving on real quick. Give me an anime that exceeded your expectations.
Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone. Well, I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, I'm going to keep going to my staples here. Obviously, Food Wars is the answer for every anime question. But the one that it really exceeded my expectations the most was probably Dr. Stone. Because I thought it was interesting. Like, oh, like, I'm a nerd. I like math and fucking learning about shit. But when I actually watched Dr. Stone and I saw how they they turned science. Oh, it's your boy. Hey.
Boy, come on. What's up, man?
They turned science and working on trying to bring the technology.
They got to be star of the show now.
All right. Come on. So they turned this idea of bringing the world back to its current technological state, and these small advances in science, these small scientific awakenings or scientific realizations, they make them look like Super Saiyan transformations, bro. Like, there's one scene where, I mean, it's a super long story, but basically there's a group of people who somehow survived into this new future, and they're almost back in the Stone Age times, right? They don't have modern technology, and they never knew modern technology. So Dr. Stone, Senku, has shown up, and he's basically like a wizard because he knows about science. And so one of his teammates that he met, that's now sort of a part of his cast, is he's like a warrior, but he's nearsighted, and they don't know from their perspective, they have no idea what that means to be nearsighted. They just figure his vision is just trash, and they don't understand why. So these niggas, and he kept losing in his fight. He was trying to battle against some other person, whatever. And he wasn't doing well. So Dr. Stone made him some glasses out of he made glass out of sand and concave, made the lens concave, so it corrected his vision. This nigga put the fucking glasses helmet on, and the animation, the way they animated it was literally turned Super Saiyan, bro. This nigga said, yes, I can see. That shit was so dope, dog. So I just love that anime style storytelling of just really exaggerating kind of mundane things in a way that's really, really, really dope. So my answer is going to be Dr. Stone. What about you?
That's a good one. So an anime that exceeded my expectations, I'm going to go with Dororo, right? Dororo is it's actually an anime that is really old, man. It came out a long time ago, in I want to say the 60s or something. They remade it.
Bro, hold on a second, bro. I keep getting distracted because I'm looking at myself in the camera. This nigga is skinny, bro. What the fuck happened? Uh-oh. I think I broke the recording because of how much weight I lost. how much more handsome I got and fucking destroyed the internet connection. Did you see what I was saying?
I didn't hear anything.
Dog, you'll see when you hear when you see this playback, that'll be a funny part. But I was saying, I was just saying I was distracted because I keep looking at myself in the camera, and I was like, damn, this nigga is skinny all of a sudden. What the fuck happened? Nigga been working out or something, god damn it. Looking kind of slender out here. Nigga handsome and wealthy a little bit, god damn it.
Let's go.
All right, my bad. You were saying I can stop being vain for a moment?
I'm proud of you, man. But I was going to say, so for me, anime that exceeded my expectations, I'm going to say Dororo. Dororo is a show that I just kind of turned on one day just to watch it because I was looking for like another like, you know, like a swordsman anime. Right. And I just literally just saw the art of it, turned it on, instantly caught me with just a fire theme song, you know, off top. And then after that, the first episode, amazing. It's Dororo's like, it's that show I told you. It's about this baby that was born, and his father basically like sold his firstborn son to the demons for like wealth and prosperity of their land. He was a samurai, you know what I'm saying? And he got that. So since he sacrificed his unborn son, when his son was born, he was born with like no skin and no limbs and no eyes or couldn't talk and anything. So he basically grows up and he gets like taken in by this guy who would make him like you know, prosthetic body parts, and he would like put swords in him and stuff, and he was like out here fighting, and he was like this amazing, you know what I'm saying, fighter with these like sword arms and everything. And then the show is just about him. Every time he kills a demon, he gets a part of his body back from them, you know what I'm saying? So it's about him killing these demons and getting his body back. It's super very good show. I loved it. So that's my answer. All right, man. Staying on this, I want to stay on this subject of things that exceeded our expectations because it kind of goes a little bit with our top five. Give me a video game that exceeded your expectations.
Boom. So I got a few of those as well, but I'm only going to talk about. So let me give you one answer, and then I'll give you another. So my second place answer is going to be Shenmue 3. Okay. And the reason why is because
people hate it.
Oh, well, actually not really. Like, I think people, once the original wave was over of like, oh, this game is different. Like, once that happened, when people actually played it, they were like, yo, this shit is actually great. Like, this shit is a great game. I had high expectations for the game because I'm a Shenmue like stan, obviously. Right. And I've been watching the development process, and I knew that it was essentially an indie game. It wasn't a AAA title. So when it came out and the early reviews came out, and people like, I think people didn't really understand. Like, I think they thought it was going to be this big, major, huge production, and they were like, yeah, like the graphics aren't, they're not really like up to par for 2018. Like the game is recycled. It's basically, you know, the same game that it was 20 years ago and blah, 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 blah. And like people really, there were some critics that really hated on it, was like, yo, like, I don't know about that. Like, this sucks because I thought this was going to be The Witcher 3 except Shenmue instead. And when it wasn't, people felt some type of way. And to be honest, that kind of impacted, it made me like, all right, what's about to happen here? But I have been an original investor. Like, as soon as they announced that shit on Kickstarter, I was like the first person to give them my money. Like, literally like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, yo, nigga, here's however much money y'all need. And then I almost forgot about it. And then like a copy of Shenmue showed up on my door, and I put that motherfucker in, and I was like, wait a minute, bro, this shit is amazing. Right. And then when I actually like went through and played, because I kind of updated y'all as I was playing it, man. Like, it was the game that I wanted it to be. I mean, yeah, like sure, there were some things that were outdated, but it was very clear that those decisions were done. That was done on purpose, like to make it a retro, nostalgic feeling
I
game.
was gonna say that, to make it feel like the original.
Right. But like the graphics were like really good, man. Like the graphics were impressive as fuck. Like the gameplay was amazing. Like it was really, really solid. I mean, I've said this before, that legendary wood chopping game, that shit is better than some games that have come out and released by major studios. Just the wood chopping simulator is better than some whole ass games. The game was fantastic. So yeah. But my number one answer, I'm only gonna talk very briefly about it because I'll talk more about it later, is Horizon Zero Dawn. That game exceeded my expectations, and the reason why is because it came out alongside Mass Effect 4, or before Mass Effect 4, or Mass Effect Andromeda, but people were hating on Mass Effect Andromeda and using Horizon Zero Dawn as a point of reference, and I'm such a big Mass Effect fan that I was like, man, fuck that game. Y'all ain't like, and as I'm like crying and playing this game, it ended up being trash. But I was in denial, like, man, like I want this game to be sweet so bad.
Right.
And the combat in Mass Effect Andromeda was amazing, but the story was obviously not good, and it was clearly an incomplete game. And they were using this unknown game that I had never heard of before to prove, like, hey, like, why don't y'all just do what Horizon Zero Dawn did? It's way better. And I was like, man, fuck that shit. So then I saw it was on sale for like $15. I said, let me try this old bullshit. This shit probably trash. Turn that shit on. I was like, oh, okay.
Amazing.
I was like, oh, I see. So this shit is one of the greatest games of all time, huh?
Basically.
I see.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
That's what I got. What about you?
A game that exceeded my expectations. I'm gonna go with Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Yay. Hey.
When the Switch came out, I remember when they did the the showing, right? And they had showed Starlink, and they showed Star Fox at the end of the trailer, and all.
Yeah, that was dope.
I was like, oh, I'm getting that again. And I really like, kind of like how you were talking about Shenmue 3, right? Like you kind of got it for like nostalgic purposes. I wanted Starlink. First of all, I just thought it was so cool, right? You had to physically get the ship and stick it in the controller. You know what I mean? And that was really dope. And you can like take the parts off take the gun off the ship and put it.
Yeah, that's fire.
And it shows up on the game. That was really sweet. But I kind of got it. I wanted it for like nostalgic purposes, because of Star Fox. I love Star Fox. And you know what, man? This game ended up being really, really good. It was a very good game. It's like an open world spaceship game.
That's fire.
You go to these different planets. It's amazing. It's really, 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 really good game. I love that. Definitely became one of my favorite games ever, and I was not expecting it to. So I gotta go with Star Fox Battle for Atlas, man. Or Star Fox. Starlink.
Starlink, right.
Starlink Battle for Atlas with the Star Fox in it. All right, man, cool. And give me a show that exceeded your expectations.
Oh, like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one
Let's do a live action show, right?
Right. Yeah.
So give me a live action show that exceeded your expectations.
Oh, here's one. Here's a good one, man. Titans on the DC network. The live action Teen Titans.
I have not got to check that out.
It's just dope, dog. That shit's really good.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's fire. It's got some dope action. It's like, it's brutal. That shit is like mature. It's it's fairly comic accurate. You know what I'm saying? That's just dope. Like it was surprisingly well received. I received it better than I thought I would, and I think it got pretty good reviews. But I think that also people kind of saw like how it was being casted initially. They saw the early screenshots and they were like, "Yo, this shit look kind of trash," and it was on like a weird, like the DC network that nobody has.
I don't have that.
And shit ended up being dope. Should end up being super dope. Another quick answer is Star Trek Discovery. Obviously I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I went into it when it was first announced. I was like, man, fuck, y'all don't want to do because they're obsessed with this time frame, this like Kirk era, the Captain Kirk time frame of like way back in the past. And I'm not interested in that because that's where the new movies, that's when they rebooted it all. I'm less interested in that than I am about like picking up after Deep Space Nine, for example. But so when they first announced it, I was like, man, this shit about to be trash. I'm not interested in it. Then they casted the lead character, who's a black woman, Sonequa Martin Green. I can't think of her first name, but it's something like that. But so I was like, all right, we got a black female lead. That's all, that now you have my attention. And then when I actually watched the series, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking incredible. This is one of my favorite Star Trek series off top. And the second season was even better. So yeah, that's another good answer. What about you?
Word. A show that exceeded my expectations. Definitely, my first answer is Into the Badlands. Like,
oh yes,
just a show that I kind of fell into randomly, and I just remember catching the first episode when it came out, and the very first scene is like this amazing fight. And I was like, wow, and it came out. Into the Badlands was on around the same time Iron Fist was on Netflix, right? So I'm this huge Marvel, Iron Fist fan, and was so disappointed by Iron Fist on Netflix because it was horrible and it was so whack. But then, like, here's Into the Badlands, and not only did it fill my action void for Iron Fist being trash, but also I was just always like watching that and just being like, dog, why couldn't they just do this for Iron Fist?
Right.
Into the Badlands has like the best fights ever seen on TV.
Yeah.
So that would be my first one. Also, man, Mandalorian, because I was worried about how a Star Wars show would work, and then within the first like 2 minutes, I was like, oh, they spent
bread on this shit.
You know what I'm saying? Oh,
IG-11 got pop locking on y'all asses, and it was over. It was a wrap.
I was like, oh yeah, they spent money. This is a good show. So
yeah, no, that shit's great.
So that's how I feel about that. And last but not least, give me a movie that exceeded your expectations, bro.
I got a really corny answer, but this is so honest and legitimate. But just hear me out before y'all start reacting. Just hear me out. A movie that exceeded my expectations relative to the time frame. We hadn't seen anything quite like this before. The era of CGI wasn't in full blast yet. I gotta go with the first Transformers movie, the first one.
That's a good answer.
Because I was like, all right, these niggas about to make a Transformer. Like, what? Y'all can't, you can't do that. Like, you ever seen the Transformers comic or the cartoon? Like, those are big giant robots.
And they transform so sweet.
Right, and as soon as I heard the actual, like, Transformer noise, right? Oh, shit. They did it. Like, so obviously, the movie's
that franchise is such a good example of a franchise that should have stopped.
Yeah.
And they just want so much money, so they just kept. I love the first one. I actually love the first two, and then I still like the third one. But after that, they're horrible. They're so.
I thought that the first one I thought was great. Because again, we didn't have a point of reference yet. The first one I thought it was, I had a lot of fun in the theater. I was like, yo, like, okay, like they did that shit. And I walked out like, all right, bro, like that was really cool.
Yeah.
And everyone after that, the second one, I think the second and third ones were tolerable because we didn't know that they were going to keep doing that same thing for another like 3 whole movies. Yeah. And after a while, it's just kind of like, all right, bro, come on, Michael Bay, what else you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, and they also never. The thing that killed me with the Transformers, I would have been willing to forgive all of it if they did a proper Galvatron and what's the planet? What's the name of the planet? Fuck, it's gonna drive me crazy.
Galvatron is the planet is
Galvatron is
Unicron is the
Unicron is the planet, and Galvatron is like super Megatron. It's like him being. So if they did a proper Unicron Galvatron story,
and they had and you would think like they had every opportunity to do it.
Man, I'm like, come on, what are y'all doing, bro?
Like, and just keep bringing regular Megatron back to
right. I mean, they did Galvatron technically, but he was like a American-made version of him. Like, if you don't throw this shit in the trash, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that I'm gonna go with the first Transformers movie really exceeded my expectations, because all the rest of these movies, like all the ones that I really really love, like I'm sorry, I got one. My favorite movie of all time, The Matrix. Here's why. I saw a lot like Horizon Zero Dawn. I waited on I think I talked about this on the pod. I waited on The Matrix. I didn't see The Matrix for like years. I didn't see it until it was like on DVD or like tape or whatever it was back in 2000, whatever. And everybody was talking all this shit about it. I'm like, man, this shit probably not that good. And I popped that motherfucker in there and watched it, sat down, and my life was never the same after that. And I was like, so this is what you mean. So this is maybe the greatest action movie that I've ever seen. And to this day, it's still my favorite movie of all time. So The Matrix definitely exceeded my expectations. Only because I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it several years later.
All right. So mine is actually going to be Deadpool, the first one. And the reason I say that is because you know how much I love Deadpool, huge Deadpool fan. And I just didn't think they could do it.
It's a great answer.
I'm just going to keep it real. Like I did not think they could do it. And I always tell the funniest story, bro, is I've never seen a movie twice. I was so excited when it came out. I went and saw it, and I just couldn't believe how well they pulled it off.
Yeah.
I took my girl home, and I went back and saw it again. I saw it the first time. So it was and I remember sitting next to this guy, and he was like, man, he's like, I hope it's good, man. I've been waiting for this movie to come out for a long time. And I was like, it's awesome. I just saw it. And he looked at me. This is like opening night, right? So he looked at me and was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I literally just watched it like 20 minutes ago. I've seen it again. So it's pretty good. But all right, man, that was interesting, right? And speaking of things that sometimes exceed your expectations, this happens all the time when you play a video game.
For sure.
Look, man, we're playing a big time open world game right now. Hero, what are your top 5 favorite open world games ever?
Boom.
Of all time.
Right, dog. So this is my wheelhouse, man. Like, I love open world games. It's probably my favorite genre of game outside of fighting games.
Get them hours in, man.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple of honorable mentions, of course. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man from Marvel Spider-Man from PS4.
That's not in your top. Oh, I'm okay.
My top 5 is stacked, dog.
Mine is too, but
my top 5 is a motherfucker. So
I'm super interested to see this.
I mean, it's not my top 5 is stacked, but it's also not like it's not that interesting. Like nigga, like these are like all time greats. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that. Yeah.
Well, except two maybe not, but 3 of my 5 are definitely gonna be in anybody's top 5. So, anyways, so another honorable mention is gonna be Metal Gear Solid 5: Phantom Pain.
Oh, that's another good one, man.
Fantastic. I'm a huge Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid is probably my maybe second favorite series of all time outside of Mass Effect. And I thought Metal Gear Solid 5 was amazing. I thought it should have won Game of the Year. It was just dope.
That was what, 2016
or 15 even. It was early. It was real early.
What won Game of the Year that year? Do you know off the top
not off the top of my head. Let me see.
Look it up real quick.
Game of the Year.
Because that game was awesome. I'm kind of curious to see what game won.
Of course. Pause. We'll pause. We'll come back to the answer in a second.
Gosh.
And it's like,
Is it a Call of Duty game, bro?
No. When you hear it, you'll be like, oh, yes, of course it did. Also, let me just verify that Metal Gear Solid came out that year. And it did, yeah. Okay, yeah. This is good. Okay, this is good, man. This is a dope top 5. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is fantastic. You want to talk about for a game that isn't necessarily about fighting? That shit got some of the hardest hitting,
easy combat.
Hand to hand. That nigga Snake be putting people in the dirt. He be knocking people the fuck out, dog.
And Snake is so to the like.
He don't be wasting no time, dog.
I'm not trying to have a long fight. I'm trying to
mop over.
Exactly. I'm trying
to knock these niggas the fuck out, dog.
And this as quick as possible.
Yeah, that QCQ, that close quarter combat, man.
Man, love it.
The CQC. All right, so jumping into the proper top 5. This is one of the ones that somebody might think is controversial, but if you follow me, you'll understand why. I got to go with the first Shenmue back in 1999. Look, man, fuck Grand Theft Auto. You understand? Shenmue was the first. Period. It was the first open world game. It coined the phrase free, fully reactivized entertainment. Yep. Like the whole it had it had a real-time weather system. This game came out in 1999, dog. It had an open world Dreamcast. It had an open world where every single NPC had their own life, not just their own schedule. They had their own life. They were doing shit, like going to work and then going to pick up their kids and then going back home.
Yeah,
they had whole ass routines. And I even read somewhere that there used to be a website in Japan that had the name and storyline of literally every single NPC in the entire game. I mean, this game came out in 1999, bro. You could walk into stores, pick things up, look at them. The genre of open world game, and I know some people may not agree with this, was birthed by Shenmue. Fuck Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto 3, I'm not going to say fuck Grand Theft Auto 3 because Grand Theft Auto 3 definitely took the baton and took it to the next level. No doubt about it. But the origin of this genre started in the way that we see it now, started with Shenmue, the first Shenmue. Okay. So you got to give it up to that game. My favorite game of all time, but not the best open world game of all time, but it gave birth to some really, really good ones. My number 4 is the 2015 Game of the Year, the one that beat out Metal Gear Solid 5, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Ah, wow. So that's why it didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, I get it. In terms of which game do I like more, I am more invested in
Metal Gear
Solid than I am in The Witcher. I just really started following The Witcher as the series on Netflix has come out. Mm-hmm. But it's a really rich world, man. It's like Game of Thrones level in terms of how big it is and how detailed and how specific the world is, how full of life the world is. But in terms of an open world game where all of the missions are amazing, it's got a super solid combat system. It's got a super solid the graphics are amazing. I mean, again, this came out at the very beginning of PS4's life cycle, so. Now, for example, Ghost of Tsushima's graphics are much better, but this was 6 years later. Combat system is solid. The world is huge, super, super duper huge. All of the missions are cool. They don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Right. So it really did it. I think Chris thinks that might be the greatest game ever made.
Which is
and it's great, man. It is a really, really good game. The only reason why it's not higher on my list is because of how much I'm how much more I'm invested in some of these other games that I am in The Witcher. Had I been a fan of The Witcher for the past 10 years, this probably would have been my number 1.
Right.
What were you gonna say?
No, I mean, just because I did, I do have some experience with Witcher 3 now, and I when you do play an open world game, one thing is sometimes they can be too intimidating to people. You know what I'm saying? Because of how big and how vast the worlds are, and especially in that game. You know?
It's fucking gigantic, bro.
Huge world.
Yeah. The combat system is dope, though. This game really does remind... It looks like... To me, it feels like The Witcher took some of the best pieces... Sorry. That Ghost of Tsushima took some of the best pieces of The Witcher and kind of just, like, concised it a little bit, because it's not nearly as big as The Witcher is.
Yeah.
But it, like, polished them a little bit more, so... And also, just to let you all know, I am not including Ghost of Tsushima on this list because of the fact that I'm not done with it yet, and I want to really give myself time to adjust. There's no doubt it would make my top 5, and I will tell you at the end of this list where I think it would go because the jury is still out. So, number 3. Oh, should I flip these two? Should I flip number 2 for number 3, bro? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. All right. On the fly, man, we're going to flip. Recently demoted my number 3, which was my number 2. I'm going to go with Elder Scrolls Skyrim at number 3.
Got it.
Really big fan of the Elder Scrolls series. I mean, you want to talk about a huge game. They don't really get much bigger than that. And it really is like the kind of the standard. Up until The Witcher came out, that had been like the golden standard for open world RPG type games. Where, you know, the first and third person view, but really being, I mean, you could literally do whatever you want. Like, there are people who like never even play the main storyline and only do the side quest in The Witcher or in the Skyrim. You can play that game for years and years and years. Also, like, the mod community is still going strong with that game. So if you have it on PC, you can. I mean, people have created entire other games inside of the engine for Skyrim.
That's crazy.
So yeah, definitely gonna go with Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Skyrim at number 3. Now, my number 2, recently promoted just because of how impressed I was with this game. The first game in this series that I had played in probably 10 years, but boy, did they come back strong. I gotta go with Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 2.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the first Zelda game that I've owned and played all the way through since Ocarina of Time. And that game is, I mean, bro, there were some, so you all know how high a standard I hold Steven Universe in terms of like cartoon and like lore. There were some moments in Breath of the Wild where I felt like I was watching an episode of Steven Universe.
Yeah, man, Zelda lore and building and
incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah, man, it's just such a beautiful game. It was really magical, and you know I don't really like magic like that, but this magic worked for me. And I don't mean magical like using magic. I just mean it had some sort of like had a vibe to it that was just really really dope. Had a solid little combat system for a Zelda game too, man. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that game. One of the few games that has a lot of like replay value where you kind of just want to keep playing it even after you finish the main mission.
Bro, my son he plays that game. He's beat it and he plays the game all the time. Like there's so much to do. It's such a good game, man. Yeah,
no doubt. And here's my number 1, bro. Here it is, dog. Here's the undefeated champion.
Uh-oh.
But we'll see how long it stays undefeated. But my number 1, man, I got to take you back to this Mass Effect adventure that I was having. And I picked up this little game, this Guerrilla Games title called Horizon Zero Dawn, and I put that shit in, prepared to hate it.
Yo.
And, bro, that shit ended up literally being one of my favorite games of all time. Probably in my top 5 favorite games ever, and to this date.
Fantastic choice. I'm not mad at it. Horizon Zero Dawn is such a good game.
Incredible, bro.
Bro, what a main character. What a story.
Awesome main character. To me, to this date,
okay, check this out. Is that the most visually impressive game you've ever played?
One of them. So let me get back to that in a second. I say to this date, that is the best open world game that I have ever played.
Okay.
To this date, we will see what happens once I finish Ghost. And just to put a finer point on there, right now, I would say more than halfway through Ghost of Tsushima, the entire experience with the combat system, the beauty of the game, the story, the subject matter. Since I'm really a big fan of Samurai, just off top, it is firmly in a top 3 spot. It probably will beat out The Legend of Zelda and has a fighting chance to dethrone the champ of Horizon Zero Dawn. Has a chance. We'll see. But Horizon, bro, that game is visually stunning. Dude, I would say in terms of in terms of just like realistic graphics, I think The Last of Us Part 2 is the best graphical game I've ever seen. But in terms of like the entire aesthetic, that and Ghost of Tsushima are neck and neck. Yeah, because Horizon Zero Dawn's photo mode is very, very similar to Ghost. Very similar. An amazing main character, and the thing that gets it for me is the sweaty, bro. That shit is so fucking like it's high science fiction, like crazy, super. I mean, it's not like cerebral science fiction, but it's just a really interesting concept. It's very good. So creative, dog.
So good, man.
Love that game, bro. And the sequel just got announced and the PlayStation presentation. So obviously, I'm copping that shit. So that's my number one. You were looks like you were about to say something. I kept gushing about. My bad. What were you saying?
No, I'll save it because I'm
okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, just to run through the top 5 again. I got Shenmue number 5, The Witcher number 4, Elder Scrolls number 3, Breath of the Wild number 2, and Horizon Zero Dawn number 1. But Ghost of Tsushima is quickly rising the leaderboards. Quickly.
I like it, man. I like it. It's very good list. All right, man, let's go. I'm gonna run off mine. Like I said, the open world, the whole thing with open world game is sometimes they can be intimidating, man. They can. You turn that game on and you see that map.
Woo.
You know what I mean? Some people, it's not for everybody. But let's go, man. I had a couple honorable mentions of my own. First of all, I do understand how good this game is, and I also understand how important of a place it has, right? And especially when it comes to superhero games, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give an honorable mention to Arkham Knight. I do love Arkham Knight. You know how I feel about Batman. I like the concept of Batman, and I like the characters in the world of Batman. I'm just not a big Bruce Wayne fan, bro. I'm not. I just don't.
It's white, bro. I'm sorry, that shit kind of matters now. Like, it didn't matter when I was younger, but now that I done got woke, nigga, I can't ignore it, bro. His power is literally white privilege, and I can't unsee that. He used to be my favorite. He used to be my absolute favorite comic book character. He's still in my top 10, but just off the nostalgia. But I can't have you in my top 5, Bruce. I'm sorry.
It's so his superpower. I love Arkham Knight, but I gotta. That's gonna be my first honorable mention. Another honorable mention, Shenmue, man. Let's go.
Hey.
First open world game definitely changed my life. One of the first games that got me super into like Asian culture and martial arts. So yeah, I can't squeeze it on the list because like my list is pretty good too. Yeah. I do love Shenmue, and my last honorable mention, man. I gotta give an honorable mention to Starlink, man. Battle for Atlas is a game that I was not expecting much from, and it's as cool as it sounds. It's an open world flying spaceship game.
Yeah, that's dope.
So that game's dope. And also, shout out to Metal Gear Solid 5. But let's get into my top 5 right now. Coming in at number 5, probably would. I understand how legendary and how good this game is. I have not played. I have not played it as much as I've beat every other game that I'm gonna name. So I haven't beat it yet, so I can't give it a higher spot. But my number 5 is Witcher 3. It is an amazing game. It's a huge game.
Yeah.
But, especially like since I just started playing it not too long ago, when you play it like later, right? So you experience these other games, you can see The Witcher 3 in all of these
for sure.
games. You know what I mean? Like you see it and you can see it in Breath of the Wild, you can see it in Horizon Zero Dawn, you can see it in Ghost of Tsushima, you can see the things that game did that all these other games have taken from it. So
no doubt. Also, full disclosure, I actually have not beaten The Witcher either, but I've put like 60 hours into it, so I have enough to make a decision about it. Like I put enough hours in. So
I feel you. So Witcher 3 coming in at number 4, man. I got to go with the Marvel's Spider-Man.
Hey,
PS4. I love that game. That was my number 1 favorite game a couple years ago. Man, that game really perfected all the things the other Spider-Man games used to try to do. It had a game with a sweet photo mode, but also the whole entire. This was probably one of the first open world games I played where you went through that period where just everybody we were just public enemy number 1.
Yeah.
You couldn't be on the street without getting into action, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I love that. That was really awesome. I love the story. And just man, the web slinging mechanics.
Incredible.
It was so good. The combat system was awesome. And I mean, I thought that Spider-Man kind of improved on the combat system that Arkham Knight had. You know what I'm saying? I thought they did it better. So number 4, man, Spider-Man. Coming in at number 3, man, I gotta go with the game that we were just talking about, Breath of the Wild, man. The game that made me want to play the Switch before Smash.
Yep.
You know,
bro, I flat out bought a Switch only for. I literally don't have another Switch game except for Breath of the Wild, Smash, and I bought Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's it. Those are the only 3 games I got, and I play my Switch all the time, and I couldn't be happier.
Exactly. Breath of the Wild, amazing game. Like you said earlier, bro, Zelda has so much lore and everything, and this was like the crown jewel of the Zelda series, man. It just had elements of all the other games in it, visually very cool. Unbelievable. Music, great. Just the whole entire, like, being able to interact with like every piece of the world. Like you climb every rock, you can hunt every animal, you can cook every food you see. You know what I'm saying? There's so much armor, so many weapons, like just a really, really good game, man. So my number 3, Breath of the Wild. My number 2, look, man, you want to talk about visually stunning game and just a crazy original concept, bro.
Hell yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, my number 2. Look, man, original concept, bro. A hunter in a world of machines. The world is so pretty. It's the graphics. I love Ghost of Tsushima. Horizon Zero Dawn is such a beautiful game to look at. And and just a great main character, man. Very, like you said, that game is science fiction
AF. Yeah. Yes.
It's got a little bit of everything in it, man.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of everything in it. It's got a great character. Shout out to Guerrilla Games, man, for making this game. I can't wait for the sequel.
Oh my God, bro.
Horizon Zero Dawn, very good game. Also, man, just like I think this might be other than Metroid, also shout out to Metroid Prime, but other than Metroid, this is the first game. This is probably the only other game I've played where the protagonist is a female, right? Look, man, some of y'all out here, same people who don't like Captain Marvel, right? You know what I'm saying? Get over it. Get over yourself, man. It's okay. Nobody's gonna think less of you, bro. You're not less of a man. Play Horizon Zero Dawn. The game is amazing. But my number one, like you, man, I'm not gonna put Ghost of Tsushima on here yet because psych, my number one. Look, man, my number one is Ghost of Tsushima. Let's go, man. I've waited so many years for an open world, you know what I'm saying, Japanese samurai game, and this is it. The world is beautiful. The combat system, I can't talk enough about it.
Right, so good, man.
Because it's the free, bro, to nail the free-flowing combat system without a target lock mechanism is something that it's not easy to do. It's not hard. And this game definitely did that. It nailed it. You can go from target to target without a target lock mechanic, and it works just fine. The world is beautiful. The characters, all the side characters, all the side missions, amazing story. I can't talk about it enough. I'm obsessed with the photo mode. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's my favorite game of all time. I don't care. I have no problem saying that. I'm obsessed. I love Ghost of Tsushima. Just again, like Horizon Zero Dawn, you got another amazing main character.
So good, man.
The game's amazing. I love it so much. So
here's how amazing this game. Here's how much this game met and exceeded my expectations. That it satisfied my thirst for a different game that never came out. Here's what I mean. So y'all know I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I know a lot of people think that it's gotten weird now because they talk a lot about the future shit. Personally, I like the future shit. I think it's dope. Anyways, for the longest time, niggas have been screaming for why aren't y'all doing a Assassin's Creed for feudal Japan? It is perfectly set up for it. You got the ninjas, which would have been lined up perfectly to be assassins. You got the samurai, which unfortunately, since they were the rich elite class, they would have been the bad guys, but whatever. It's perfectly set up for it. Why aren't y'all doing it? Ghost of Tsushima is so fucking dope, and it scratches that itch so much that I don't even want that game anymore.
There's no way they would be able to do it.
Yeah, you can't. Now it would be stupid to even try. You can't beat it. It's it's a wrap. They beat you to it. It's a better game than you could have ever made, and I don't want to play that game anymore because Ghost scratches that itch. So I'm here for it. Totally. I mean, like I said, I don't know if I'm ready to call it my favorite game ever, but there's no doubt it's going to be in my top 2 open world game, or possibly I can say with a high degree of confidence that it's a top 5 game of all time, and I'm not even halfway done with it, or just over halfway done with it. Am I frozen? Have I been frozen?
No.
Are you just frozen in excitement?
I was frozen in excitement.
Right.
Talking about it. And yeah, man, that's it, man. It's just a beautiful game. It is beautiful game. Everything, the side missions, and sometimes when you play games that are heavy on side quests, you do all the side quests, and sometimes it's not. They don't have a good enough reward for you to just want to keep doing them all, right? Mm-hmm. These side quests have good rewards, and they're just good, man. They're good stories, and you want to find out what's happening in this world. But that's my number one, man. So that is my top 5. I'll run it off again. Number 5, Witcher 3. Number 4, Spider-Man. Number 3, Breath of the Wild. Number 2, Horizon Zero Dawn. And number 1, man, Ghost of Tsushima. Play it if you have not played it, y'all. Please go get that game and play it.
Got to.
Gotta play it. Play all these games we talked about. They're all good. Everybody with the whole COVID thing still running rampant there. You got time on your hands. Get you a open world game, man.
Y'all literally don't have shit else to do. So let's go.
get you an open world game. There's no better time killer than that. Just any one of these games that we named, and you guys will.
And if you got a lot of time, The Witcher, because that shit, like I literally, no joke, have put 60 plus hours in it, and I don't think I'm even halfway through the story. So,
So if you got time, play The Witcher. But yeah, man, all these good open world games. Episode 45. My friend in the books, thank you all for listening. Make sure y'all check out my newest song, Liquid Snake. I got a video for it too. Me and Hero are doing our thing. We're back.
If we can ever stop playing Ghost, it'll probably come out at some point. But.
Yeah, if we can ever stop playing Ghost, I will have a new project come on.
Right.
But yeah, man, new music is on the way. I'm excited for you guys to hear everything. Episode 45 in the books. We love y'all, man. Follow us on Instagram at the SwordCast Pod. If you're listening on Spotify or whatever you're listening on, make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel, man. Just subscribe, Noveliss. We got all the SwordCast video episodes up on there. And we've been doing video ever since COVID. So y'all make sure y'all check out the videos, man. Thank y'all for listening. We love y'all. Peace.
Check it.
Welcome back, hero.
My word is my sword, Hokage Tosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.